Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Himanshu ji.
Good morning,
Uh,
Chavanji.
yes, so welcome to all the viewers. I hope we are visible across all the social media platforms. I'm Chavan. I'll be the host for the day, and okay, one second. There seems to be a yeah. Okay, good morning, everyone. So today we are going to explain about relative rotation graphs, and along with us we have Mr. Himanshu Sharma. Himanshu Sharma basically is from Delhi. He is a CFT, MSTA, Level 3 CMT qualified, and also a member of CMT Association, IFTA, MSTA, and the ATA. थोड़ा छोटा हो गया सर ये सब. So, anyways, yes, fantastic having you on today's live streaming. Thank you so much, Himanshu ji, for coming over. We look forward, and you can start your presentation. Uh, Basically, guys, Himanshu will be taking through the presentation first, and then we'll be taking up the FAQs. So please do like this live stream so that more and more people can join. We look forward to your uh, continuous support. Thank you so much. Yes, it's all yours, Himanshu ji.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the time, and it's always my pleasure to teach something on technical analysis. So, RRG charts is a top down approach. So, I'll be taking you through the presentation, and then we'll go to the Strike platform to see how RRG works and how we can add our own portfolio stocks to our watch list and then look for the RRGs over there. So, just make sure, are you able to see my screen? If you confirm.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you have already explained me about, you have already given my introduction. I was working with Ministry of Urban Development before my resignation. Rest everything is same. So I think everyone knows about relative strength so far because this concept has become a lot popular over the years. It is outperformance of a security compared to a benchmark over a certain period. For example, if you want to invest in Korean market, you will see what all stocks have outperformed Kospi index, their main index. If you are investing in India, you want to see for the stocks that have outperformed Nifty 50 or Nifty 500 over a period of 1 month or 3 months or 6 months, and that's how you will pick the stronger names, right? So that's what you do in the Indian market. This is the basic concept of relative strength. There are various ways to look for the relative strength. One is your visual analysis, one is your ratio charts, one is RS rating. So it's a time tested methodology to pick the strong winners. Now, Jesse Livermore sir has used it, Nicholas Darvas used it, William O'Neill used it. So almost all the trading and investing legends have used it. No multi-bagger, there will be a no multi-bagger that has given 500, 600% return without beating the benchmark. So here what are you trying to do is that you are trying to pick a winner that has outperformed Nifty over a past period of 1 month or 3 months. When you run this scan every week, you will you will spot some name recently popping up through that list, and you will see that there are certain winners that are going to move 200, 300% out of that list. So now that's a mathematical equation, there is nothing wrong with it, right? So that's why it's a time tested methodology. Now here is a simple comparison of real estate chart to Nifty, right? So what have I done is that I have just taken a ratio of both of them. So if you'll see here that I have explained this before as well in multiple platforms, that real estate index to Nifty ratio was falling down right since 2008 top, and real estate sector was in a very long period of downtrend, and then it went sideways, and from 2023 onwards we see some bit of an uptick in the real estate market. So we see the real estate stocks, DLF, Godrej Properties, Prestige Estates, Brigade, Shobha, they have moved, I mean, to the tune of 200 to 300%, right? So That's one way to spot relative strength. We look for the ratio analysis, or we can use RS rating as well. But there is a problem with relative strength as a tool, right? Now, nothing is 100% perfect in technical analysis. So everything has advantages, everything has disadvantages as well. Sometimes the relative strength for infrastructure sector will not be too high compared to a biotechnology stock or a pharma stock, because infra company is such that they cannot make a huge move within a 1 month or 2 month, because they run on order books. They have to execute some road network, some bridge network. So there is nothing that is novel in a way that a pharma company may get a license for a drug, and that overshoots within a month or two, and you'll see the pat jumping up, and you'll see the relative strength of that particular stock in the pharma sector jumping up a lot compared to an infra name. So I cannot compare raw infrastructure sector with a raw RS rating of a pharma sector or a biotech sector or a IT company. That is a problem with relative strength. Now, another problem is that here I took the ratio of real estate to Nifty. Now, let's say we have 15 sectors. So, how many ratios do I need to take? Let's say we have 10 sectors in total. I need to take 45 ratios, which is very cumbersome for an investor. So that is why what we particularly are trying to do in RRG is that we are now trying to merge the bottom up approach with the top down approach. In the bottoms up approach, we look for the stocks, and that's why we were using RS ratio. In the top down approach, we are looking for the best performing sectors, and we will later on merge both of them. So that's the whole purpose of RRG charts, which is relative rotational graphs, is the brainchild of Julius D. Campaner. He was working for buy and sell side rating agency. Now, what happens is that basically, when you are an investor, uh, you are researching a lot on individual companies. So you have reams of paper, and even the analysts are giving you buy and sell recommendations. So there should be some way that within 1 minute or 2 minutes, you should be able to tell which sector is strong and which sector is weak. So that is the whole idea of RRG chart. After the presentation, you will be able to identify the top 3 or 4 best performing sectors. So if you are running your scan of relative strength, now you can pick only those stocks that are from the top sectors. So that's how RRG will work into picture. Now, relative strength has a disadvantage. I told you, for example, there are two stocks and both of them have RS rating of 80. But for the stock A, the RS moved from 60 to 80, and for the stock B, the RS moved from 95 to 80, right? So what will you say by looking at the raw figure of 80? You will say both the stocks have similar relative strength. No, for stock A, it is an improving relative strength. For stock B, it is a diminishing relative strength. So in this scenario, stock A is stronger compared to stock B, right? One more example is that now both the stocks have RS rating of 80, but for stock A, it moved from 60 to 80 within a month, and for the other, it moved from 60 to 80 within a week. So where the momentum is high, the momentum is high where RS ratio moved from 60 to 80 within a week. So that is the whole idea of RRG chart. It is not only taking into account the change of relative strength, but it is also taking into account the rate of change of relative strength. Now, you are driving a car on an expressway, you rushed your car from 0 to 100 kilometers within 10 seconds, and another car took 30 seconds. So that's what you tell about, right? Pickup of car A is better than car B, because the rate of change from 0 to 100 is quicker in the case A. So that's what RHG is trying to do. It is also checking the pace at which the rating changes, which is called as RS momentum, right? So it's not only taking into account RS rating, but also RS momentum. So here is a basic, that's how a basic RRG chart looks like. Later on, when I'll take you to the strike platform, I'll show you how RRG works and how do you need to track which sector is strong. So on the bottom axis, you see the relative strength, the strength of the sector, RS ratio. On the vertical axis, you see the momentum. As I told you, the speed of the change of RS rating, that is RS momentum. In the bottom axis, you will see this number to be 100 and 100. So this is the center point of the axis. Now, that's how the security moves. If something is in the leading quadrant, means RS is very high and also the momentum is very high. So your car is rushing on the full speed. So the sector is in the leading quadrant. There are four quadrants. Leading quadrant means the relative strength is very high and also the momentum is very high. Now what happens? Whenever something is in an uptrend, it goes through correction. It can be a pullback, it can be a shallow correction. So, what happens during the correction? It can be time wise correction, means the security stays around at the same level, or the stock pulls back to a lower level. In both these cases, what will happen? RS is still very high, but momentum decreases. Now, your car was moving from 0 to 80 already. Now, for the past 15 minutes, you are driving it at 80. So, the momentum, the rate of change decreases, which means that now the momentum will decrease and this security will move from leading quadrant to weakening quadrant because the momentum decreased, but RS ratio is still very high. Now, if this correction goes deep enough towards the trend reversal, then the momentum will further decrease and it will now start pulling your relative strength also to the backhand side. So RS will also start decreasing and the security will move from weakening quadrant to lagging quadrant. Now here you will see the security is in a downtrend. Now, just because every good thing comes to an end, every bad thing will also come to an end. So some weeks later, some months later, you will see smart investors or the value investors will find value in these sectors and they will start buying their stocks. So the momentum will first increase, but RS is still very less. Now, if these sectors see continued buying, then from the improving quadrant, now the RS momentum is also increasing, but RS ratio will also start increasing, and the security will again move from improving quadrant to leading quadrant. So that's how the stock or a sector completes a cycle. One more thing, supposedly one sector is in a leading quadrant. I told you, right? The momentum starts decreasing. That means the stock or the security or the index went to a corrective mode. So there is a correction within a uptrend. Now, when correction starts, this sector will move from leading to weakening because momentum declines, but RS is still very high. But if it was just a correction, it is not a trend reversal. If it is just a correction, you will see buying coming back again. So buy force will come back and momentum will again increase and the security will move from weakening to leading once again back. So if a security moves from weakening to leading back again, it means that the sector went through a correction. That was not a trend reversal. If it would have been a trend reversal, RS would also have declined and the security would have moved from weakening to lagging. So similarly, from lagging to improving, which means if the security was in lagging quadrant, which means it's in a downtrend, and RS ratio and both momentum are very less. So if there is a buy force coming in, the momentum will increase and the sector will move from lagging to improving quadrant. But we are not sure whether it is a trend reversal or merely a bounce. if it is just a bounce, then momentum will once again decrease because the buy force will go away and the sector will fall back from improving to lagging quadrant. So, this is how the cycle completes on an RRG chart. And from leading to weakening, it can go from weakening to lagging or from weakening to leading once again. If it is a trend reversal, it will move from weakening to lagging. If it is merely a correction, it will move back from weakening to leading quadrant. So that's how the cycle completes. There cannot be any diagonal movement. There cannot be any diagonal movement. Why? Because from leading quadrant to lagging, momentum has to decrease first. You cannot say that momentum, because once you slow down your car from 80 to 0, you have to decrease the momentum first, rate of change. So there cannot be any diagonal movement. So this is what I have already explained to you. So in the weakening quadrant, momentum levels off first and declines. Sector enters weakening quadrant. It is still in an uptrend, but momentum is declining. So if momentum continues to accelerate to the downside, then the security moves from weakening quadrant to lagging quadrant. And then if every bad thing comes to an end, if momentum improves, we will move from lagging quadrant to improving quadrant. So this is one example. Now if you go back to the presentation, I showed you that this is very difficult for me to look for each and every sector by taking a ratio with the Nifty and manually doing it. That's how RRG will help you. Now there are four quadrants. I am comparing real estate index to benchmark Nifty 500 and I'm using weekly movements. So this is the time period of 2nd January 2023. On the right hand side, you see the chart of real estate index. It is in which quadrant? It is in a lagging quadrant, which means it is in a downtrend and it was a prolonged period of downtrend. So if you will open the chart of real estate index, you will see the prolonged period of downtrend. It's January 2nd, 2023. As I move further ahead, 13th March, you will see first time the momentum starts increasing. And now I don't know whether it is merely a bounce or it is trend reversal on the chart. I'm not aware. So any ultra aggressive investor will start building position over here. But a conservative investor will always wait for more confirmation. Now here, this is 13th March. I move further forward. Now here on the 2nd May, I get some extra confirmation. The security moved from lagging quadrant to improving, which means the momentum also increased and RS also increased. And you look here, where are we sitting on the real estate chart? It is somewhere around May 2nd and we are very near to this bottom. But RRG chart is showing you that real estate sector is likely to enter into the leading quadrant, and that's where you will start spotting a lot of real estate names. Here the index has not broken out yet, but the real estate index has moved to leading quadrant, which means the momentum is also very high, the RS ratio is also very high, and now the sector is showing that it's a very, very strong sector. And if you will look at the charts of DLF, Shobha, Brigade, Prestige, you will see those charts also corroborating your study on the RRG chart. So now what happened after many months in August 28th, you will see here now this moved from leading quadrant to weakening quadrant. Two questions arise. One is it a downtrend or it is just a running correction? Because if it is a downtrend, the real estate sector should move to the lagging quadrant and the momentum should decrease. And if it is just a correction, then it should turn back up, momentum decrease, but the momentum will come back again. It will move from weakening quadrant to leading quadrant. So let's see what happened ahead. In October, it took a turn. That means for someone who has missed the stocks over here, they will get a lot of opportunities once again. And the real estate sector, which it showed itself on the chart here, that it was just a running correction. right? So it's not a start of a downtrend, and that's what the chart shows you, that we are in a correction. But before the sector turned up, the RRG chart showed me that the real estate started turning up. So as I moved further ahead in 28 November, 2 months ahead, you will see here the sector again picked momentum, and now it is once again back into the leading quadrant. So this means that this was just a correction within an uptrend. It was not a downtrend. And as I moved further ahead in February, once again correction. That's how the indices move. That's how a strong sector moves. It never moves vertically. It will always have a correction in between. Correction can be a price wise correction, it can be a time wise correction, or it can be both of them, right? In a time wise correction, it will stay floating near around the same level. In a price wise correction, it just retraces back 15, 10, 15, 20% from the highs, right? That's how the corrections take place. So in the February 24, once again we are seeing some bit of correction in the real estate sector. And again one question popped up on 21st May: is it a correction or is it a downtrend? So as of now, the chart was showing that we are now in a correction within a brief uptrend. So that's how it becomes very easy to spot which sector is strong, which one is entering from lagging quadrant to improving quadrant, and there will be multiple financial market participants. There will not be any single category of investor or a trader over here. So if someone, so that's why RRGs are so useful, that they will tell you about the strong sectors as well. So even if you are a beginner, you can pick up the strong sectors from RRG, and you can restrict your buying to those sectors so that your probability of winning becomes very high. And that's what Sir Stan Weinstein mentioned in his book Secrets for Profiting in Bull and Bear Markets, that strong stock from a strong group will always have a high probability of winning. So it takes just a 2-minute task. I'll explain to you how to spot RRG. Now here, different how RRG is useful. If someone is a value investor, they can maybe look for the sectors that are beaten down or just entering from lagging quadrant to improving quadrant, because those are the sectors that are ignored by the market. So they will be spotting some value buys over there. If someone is a contrarian investor, they will be looking somewhere over here. Now if someone is saying, no, I am a momentum player, they will be looking for the sectors entering the leading quadrant or enter or ending their correction, right? So there is no one single category of player over here. So if someone is trading in and out, they will be also looking for leading sector or something that is ending the correction. If someone loves to short, they will be looking for the sectors opposite to that of a value buyer, those entering from weakening quadrant to a lagging quadrant. So this is a very pictorial tool. Now that's what RRG showed on 18th June. So we were sitting on 21st May. Now we are sitting in 18th June. In June 24, now this was merely a correction in a down in an uptrend. That was not a trend reversal. So that's how RRGs are useful. Now this one snapshot you can see even on Strike platform. Once you go on Strike platform, you have to go to the home page, and here you will see the relative rotational graphs. So once you click on the relative rotational graphs, this sort of screen will open up. So these are my sectoral indices on the chart. Now there are some settings over here. Firstly, for an investor, you have to use the weekly time frame, right? Weekly movement, because daily will be too noisy. Even if you are a trader, you have to spot for the strong sector, so weekly will be better. So here you will see they have some ready-made indices, only indices. They have these ready-made indices as well. What I have done is that you can create your own watch list as well. So let's say I have created a watch list of only the sectoral indices. So how to create that watch list, will cover that part as well. This is the weekly time frame, and the benchmark is Nifty 50. You can compare it to Nifty 500 as well. So if you click on Nifty 500, now this is the comparison with Nifty 500. And as you know, we are now head into a corrective phase in the market. So that's why you will see not so many sectors are strong. So let's say we are comparing with Nifty 50 weekly chart. Now, what is it? Count. What do you mean by count? Right. So in my presentation, you saw that tail length is 10 weeks. 10 weeks here, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like an. Have you used that Nokia phone in 2008, 2009? That has a game of like snake was moving, right? So this shows me the history of 10 weeks for real estate index. So 10 weeks before it was here, 9 weeks before it was here, 8 weeks before it was here, and so on. So if you increase your tail length, it becomes very difficult to read the chart. So your chart will become not readable. See here, you are using 20 weeks of past data. So if you have just 4 or 5 indices, maybe 10, 12 weeks of past history is okay. But if you are having a lot of indices, then 5 weeks is fair enough time. 5 weeks is fair enough time. Now here, if you will see, you know, now I'm asking you, is healthcare and pharma in a downtrend? No. As of now, it seems that pharma stocks and healthcare index went through a correction and now they are ending their correction and they may enter the leading quadrant. And you will see almost on all the pharma names. I mean, you pick up any pharma chart, you have Lupin, you have Glenmark Pharma, you have Sun Pharma, all are near to the highs. So most of the sectors are very, very strong. So that's what RRG is showing you, that likely healthcare and pharma may enter the leading quadrant. Likely oil and gas may enter its correction, but PSU banks as of now has moved to a lagging quadrant, which means the correction is so deep enough over there. So again, I am saying you correction can be of, I'll show you my chart of PSU banks. So if you'll go here, PSU banks, this the correction has becoming so deep, right? So you pick up any chart here, Bank of Baroda, though this correction is so deep enough. Correction can be time bound correction also, or it can be a price wise correction, time wise or price wise. So as of now, I think they are facing both. So you'll see here Punjab and Sindh Bank, Canara Bank. So that's what RRG is also showing you on the chart, that PSU banks have gone to the lagging quadrant. So that's how RRG becomes so useful. Now here what pops up? IT sector. Let's focus on the IT sector now. So IT, okay, let's see the full movement. So I just clicked on IT here so that you can now see only the IT sector. Whether it is an uptrend or it is just a bounce in an uptrend, we don't know. We don't know. We will only be confirmed when it enters the leading quadrant. But as of now, ultra aggressive investor will start building position. Now it can go down also, which means that it was just a bounce, or it can enter a leading quadrant also from here on, which means that no, this was not a bounce, but it was a trend reversal on a lot of charts. But all in all, in any case, when it entered the improving quadrant, we saw a lot of IT stocks popping up on our screen. So even if you recall, Infosys, TCS, Newgen Software, Oracle Financial, these were a lot of IT names that popped up on our screen, I think a few weeks before, 3, 4 weeks before, right? So that's how it helps you. Now, what you can do is that you can create your own watch list also. So you can just go here and you can create your own watch list also, and just name it like my portfolio. Let's say you saw, okay, pharma sector is strong, or maybe you can add up your own names over there. So I have created my own watch list. You can create your own watch list and you can add stocks. For example, uh, let's say we have some pharma names. So let's add Newland Labs. In pharma sector, let's add Lupin, for example, and let's add Glenmark Pharma also. So you can add names to these watch list. You come here to RRG and you will see your watch list over here, right? My portfolio. So I have created, for example, my one watch list with portfolio. So it will show you my charts over here. So mostly Lupin, for example, is likely to end its correction. NTPC likely to end the correction. Tata Power, it was in a very long correction, time-wise correction. I'll show you on the chart, so it helps you a lot. Let's click on Tata Power. Now, this is the chart of Tata Power. You can, by the way, move this cursor and look at the full movement of Tata Power also. So if you will see here, the Tata Power was in a leading quadrant, roughly around, which is the time period, 31st July. So let's collaborate on the chart as well. So if you'll go to the chart of Tata Power, you will see somewhere around 31st July here. So still here, 31st July 2024. I'll pick up the pharma sector somewhere here. So June July period. This was the June July period. So in fact, it came to the leading quadrant somewhere around January 30 to almost around this period, June period. So this whole period you'll see here from December to May or June. So this was staying in the leading quadrant, and then it went to the sideways, the time wise correction. So the stock came up from this consolidation zone. Now that's what the chart is also showing me as of now. So if you will move the data, now it is likely ending the correction. So that's what I said. If you have just 7 or 8 stocks to see, you can increase the tail length. But if you have a lot of sectors, 20 or 30, then it doesn't make sense to increase your time frame, because it becomes very difficult to read the chart. Now here, for example, you'll see Tata Power likely to end the correction because it was in a correction. First of all, you have to see that it was already in a time-wise correction for a very long period, almost 2.5 months. So that's what it is showing you on the screen. So that's how RRG helps you a lot. So if you look for the, for example, the sectoral indices, maybe they have the ready-made indices as well. I think Strike is the first platform that have launched RRG. So for example, Nifty Bank, so it within just one click it shows you, okay, within the Nifty Bank now, oh, surprisingly now HDFC Bank is entering the leading quadrant, right? And Federal Bank is entering the leading quadrant. So Bank of Baroda is weak, PNB is weak. Remember, we saw the PSU Bank entering into the lagging quadrant. So within 1 minute or two, you can see these are the strong sectors. But first, you have to pick the strong sector. And within that strong sector, then you have to come and pick the strong stock, right? That's how you will use it. So let's see, PSU was entering the leading lagging quadrant, if you remember. So let's see the PSU Bank chart. So look at the chart here. Now, almost most of the names are on the left hand side and the bottom corner. We want more names on the top right corner, leading quadrant or improving quadrant. We don't want a lot of names to be sitting here. Otherwise, there is a trouble over there. So unless we see a momentum building up, they are into a very long period of correction as of now. So let's pick up auto sector. So in auto, you will see Motherson Sumi is a good chart, for example. So TVS Motor trying to enter the leading quadrant now, and it was again in a correction after a brief uptrend. So you'll see Tata Motors moving up, MRF moving up. So these kind of movements you'll see over here. So if you see the sectoral indices, once again, I'll show you the reality chart. So this is reality, and let's move. So you will see this was the time phase I was talking about. So real estate index moved over there. See here, this moved, and this entered the leading quadrant somewhere around August to April. So that's what I was even showing you that time. So for the first time, when the real estate index moved to the improving quadrant, 2nd May. So you can open any chart in the real estate sector, for example, Prestige Estates. So this is the time period of 2nd May 2023. This is the time period, 2nd May. So this was like here, right? April, May, June period, this period. So, and from there you see from 500 to 2000. Anyway, this is in hindsight, but that time when you are looking at this, any sector moving from weakening quadrant to then improving, lagging to improving to leading, you have to look for the chart. So you can pick up any chart, even the leader DLF, that time DLF was the leader. So again, the same time, April, May period. when the RRG showed that the sector is a leading sector. So even from that level to almost around here 125% move from a leader. So uh, yes, Chavanji, if you have any question, so maybe we can take. I can stop presenting or I'll continue. So this is about the strike platform. Yeah, I'll be. So I hope this is clear. So yes, Chavanji, are you here? You can unmute, and if we have questions, we can take some doubts over there.
Okay. Himanshu ji, one question is there a significance between near to center versus far away from center?
So volatility is the difference. Significance, I deliberately don't go over there. What happens is that when the index is far away from the center, that means it's more volatile compared to something which is very near to the center. But as an investor, as a trader, you want bigger moves. So those are also possible when you are able to pick up some sectors that are away from the center.
Okay. Himanshu, can you please explain multi-time frame analysis, how to do it between daily and weekly in combination?
So daily, I usually don't advise for RRG charts, because what happens is that the daily movement of any stock will move frequently back and forth. For that, you have to look at the raw chart itself. If you are, let's say, if you want to buy Lupin or maybe let's say Glenmark Pharma or any random ABC stock, you are anyway buying it on a particular day. But your analysis of buying that should come from a higher time frame. So weekly chart is best enough, because I am telling you, once a stock stays in a trend or a sector stays in an uptrend, it usually stays for 1.5 year minimum. So what happens, like real estate, if it caught the uptrend, it won't be like it. Uptrend is not just for 6 or 7 days. It is for 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year uptrend. So better to stick with weekly time frame, and then you have to look for the daily spots to enter a stock based on the respective chart of the stock itself.
Okay. So you mean to say this is more for investments, RRG?
No,
Is it not meant for short-term traders?
no. All I'm saying is that even short-term traders are looking for stocks that are in an uptrend. They want to increase their probability of winning. So they are buying at least risk areas to maximize the move. So that's what I told you, that if a sector enters the leading quadrant, why won't a trader look for there? So if a trader has to scan 2000 stocks, now he will be scanning only 300 to 400 from the top 4 or 5 sectors. As you may have seen that infrastructure sector also did well, real
Hmm.
estate sector did well. Now you know that pharma sector is doing well. So why won't a trader align his buying to the pharma sector? Why would someone buy PSU banks right now when it RRG shows me that they are losing steam? So it is useful for every type of market participant.
Okay. Okay. Patel Dhruv is asking what is the difference between short tail and long tail?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That maybe I can present it once again,
Yes.
because then you can
Yes.
ask your
Hmm.
question. So, so see, uh, if you reduce the tail to 3 weeks, I want to see real estate sector from where is it coming. Now, it was 3 weeks before here. So, three means past history of the real estate sector, past 3 weeks history. So, previous week it was here, previous to previous week it was here, and the 3 weeks before it was here. If I want to see the long history of real estate sector, I can increase the tail length, which means that it is now showing me 11 weeks history of real estate sector. So it depends on you how long do you want to see. That means the snake is coming from here, right? So 11 is nothing, it's the tail length, the history you want to see of any sector.
Okay. So, Himanshu, the best setups will be when a stock is moving from lagging to improving. Okay. As well as when a stock is has moved from leading to weakening and going back into leading. Correct. But how do you judge that the stock, or imagine it was in leading and then it came to weakening. Now how will you imagine that whether it will go into lagging or it will go back to leading?
So what happens, firstly, the best setup is what suits the personality of an investor. First part of the question, if
Hmm.
someone is a value investor, for him I can't say this leading, because they are looking for contrarian bias where no one is looking. Now coming to the other part, that if it is from leading to weakening, okay, so for example DLF is in the correction right now. So anyway, when it is sitting from leading to weakening, sector is sitting in weakening quadrant, I look for the stocks of that sector. Now if those stocks are, now again, one very important statement is that leaders move before the sector move. So two or three leaders will start ending their correction and they'll start moving in the direction of the trend. That's how your probability increases that now the sector will index will also pick up pace and it will move from weakening to leading. But anyway, if you are sticking with the stronger stocks, you are, firstly you are trailing your stop losses. So you are anyway not prematurely having some sort of a preconceived notion that it will move from weakening to lagging. Now leader will move in your direction. And thirdly, slowly and slowly you will see the sector itself taking a turn after the leader. So you have to stick with the leaders. Leaders are those that are near to the highs and they are having very less volume and pullback. Because see, again, RRG is not some sort of a medicine that you swallow and you will get automatically the charts. You have to come to the individual chart structures as well. So those individual charts will tell you. So DLF went to a correction, every stock went to a correction. So Prestige, for example, went to a correction here. So it went to a correction and then quickly came back up,
Hmm.
right? So that's how you get to know, sir.
Okay. So, one more question is, now that you have identified the sector, is it the same process are you going to do for the stocks within that sector?
See, first thing what I do is that I have my focused list of strong stocks that are from RS scan. So I always have a list of stronger stocks that are doing good in the market. So this list has roughly 218 names. Now, whatever is buyable, I will move that to the A list. And from this Bible list, I'll then corroborate with the strong sector. Let's say I have 20 charts that are looking good for the next week. Now, out of those 20 charts, I will see which all are the charts from those particular sectors that are showing strength on RRG. So that's what I told you, right? We are merging both the approaches. We are doing both the things. We are having this bottoms up approach as well. We are having the top down approach as well. From RRG, it takes 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, for me to understand this sector is strong.
Hmm.
Let's say from my 20 stock list, I have two names or one name from PSU Bank. I will focus less on it because the sector overall is very weak. I want, let's say, six or seven pharma names are there and pharma as a sector is also strong, then I'll focus on pharma names. So that's what I am personally doing.
Okay, fantastic. Amit Singh is asking if I'm, what should be the ideal benchmark? Whether is it Nifty 50, Nifty 500, or if I'm, say, like I'm checking Hindalco, it should be Nifty Metal, Nifty 50, or Nifty 500.
See, first part is that what should be the ideal benchmark, Nifty 50 or Nifty 500? The answer is that sometimes what happens, Nifty moves 10%, because small caps and mid caps usually when we have a bull rally they move 20-25%. So if your benchmark is very strict, which is Nifty micro, small cap or mid cap, that means half of the stocks you are already eliminating. Are you getting my point? Because your
Hmm.
benchmark is picked. So I go with a lenient benchmark, that is Nifty 50, because I know Nifty, it's very difficult to move 20-25% within 1 month or 2 months. But for a micro cap or the small cap or the mid cap index, it becomes comparatively easy. So the benchmark should be lenient enough. That's why I'm using Nifty 50. Now, coming to the question of Hindalco comparing with this, see, once again, first of all, you'll pick the strong sector from RRG. Once you have picked the strong sector from RRG, then from that strong sector I showed you, right? You have this metal index. So you can click on fit here. Now you can see here which stock is strong within that sector. So it takes just 1 minute. Yeah, you are right. Hindalco comparing with Nifty Metal is fine. But Nifty Metal, I will compare it with Nifty 50 rather than 500 because those have small caps and mid caps also over there. And that will raise my benchmark.
Okay. Himanshu, what I've observed is people are thinking that, okay, there's a exit strategy, there's a buying strategy out of RRG. Mainly, RRG should be used as a scanner, isn't it? The exit and the entry should be based on price action.
It should, yes, it should be based on price action itself. RRG to be used as a scanner.
Yeah.
And
To just to identify which stock we need to concentrate on or
yeah,
which
which stock?
sector, absolutely, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the exit strategy or the entry strategy should be based on price action.
Yeah, okay, because you get blessings only from the god in the temple. These are all priests, right? आप मंदिर जाकर पूजा तो भगवान की करनी है एंड गॉड इज योर प्राइस एक्शन.
Hmm.
Everything is derived from price and volume. If there is no price, there won't be any RRG,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So RRG fixes your stock selection process. So if as a beginner I can weed out 2000 names out of 2300, nothing better than that. And that too without taking any time. Because for real estate sector, what will you do if you are a retail investor? What will you'll pick up some house में हाउसिंग सेल कितना हुआ, इन्वेंट्री कितना बिल्डअप हो रखा है, कहाँ किस बिल्डर ने कितना लैंड लिया. Here RRG saves my time and shows me within 1 minute here is the sector without doing all that stuff. So as a for a retail investor, it is highly beneficial because we won't go for auto sector and will note down the sales every month. Itna two-wheeler sale, itna four-wheeler sale, that becomes very difficult. So if RRG can save my time within 1 minute sitting in air conditioner room, you can pick up the strong sector. That is better, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Pranav is asking, distinguishing between trend reversal and correction.
Yeah. So what happens, sir? See, the basic essence of trend is Dow theory. Dow theory says that everything moves in an uptrend with a series of higher highs and higher lows. So, when a stock forms a series of higher highs and higher lows, trend reversal is when this series is broken. There is nothing simple than that. Correction won't break that previous low. Correction can be like maybe on a weekly time frame or a monthly time frame, you will see correction coming up here, but it won't break this structure. But trend reversal is a bigger term. Trend reversal is something like something was in a upper trend and then it just breaches and then reverses the trend. So on RRG charts, the trend reversal is a major term. Major term, like if you pick up now, we don't have an option for global indices. Otherwise, I would have shown you how Chinese market would have reacted, right, on
Hmm.
RRG
Hmm.
chart. So if I'll go to the global view, I'll show you the Chinese market index over here. So for the long term trend, so this is something like the Nasdaq Golden Dragon, like Chinese ETF from 24,000 to now sitting at 6,500. So this is a trend reversal here, which now forming a series of lower highs and lower lows. This is not a correction. Correction never reverses the trend deeply. It can be a running correction, it can be a time wise correction, it can be a price wise correction, or it can be a event based decline also, right? For example, during the COVID period, we had that event based decline. This virus popped up from somewhere and we had a decline and we quickly recovered. So correction and this bear market, I mean trend reversal, both are different term. Correction can be deep, correction can be shallow, but trend reversal is very painful.
Okay, Himanshu, there is again doubt in the people on the benchmark, selecting which is the right benchmark. Can you please re-clarify it?
So the correct benchmark that I use is Nifty 50. I
Okay.
do not use Nifty 500 because 500 also has small cap and mid cap stocks. And sometimes small caps perform better than main Nifty index. That is why my benchmark becomes very high in Nifty 500. So that is why I don't personally use it. You can be comfortable comparing it with anything, but I use Nifty 50 because of the reason that I don't want my benchmark to be too strict.
Okay. And when the dots are near to each other in the tail, what does that indicate?
Here, dots,
Yes, absolutely.
nothing. It just like media was here 1 week before, two
Mm,
weeks before it was here. Because I have selected 11 weeks, so these are 11 dots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11th week, I mean, in the current week, it is here. So
mm.
otherwise, you will see it is just like here it was 1 week before, here it was 1 week before. This is the meaning of the dot.
Okay. And okay, so people are asking, what if there is, there's no sectors readily available? What you can do is, yes, we are building a sector analysis in Strike where you will get all the sectors readily available. So till then, you can create your watch list, and in fact, say like railways. Okay, railway stocks, you can just select the stocks and keep it as railways as a watch list, and then you can scan it in the RRG. So by then we'll be building it very shortly. The sectors and all. So it will take some time. Okay, so regarding the data issue, yes, on Friday we didn't get the EOD data from NSE. We are still in touch with them. I'm not sure what is the problem, but only partial data we have got. So only the relative strength and all is showing as on previous dated. Okay, so we are, by today's day end, it should get rectified. Okay,
Yes, so this I was just trying to do like something like railway sector. Yeah, you
yes.
can pick up your data over there as well. Like you can create your own watch list, I think so.
Yes, absolutely. So till then, you can create your own watch list. We have given an option to create 100 watch list almost. So that is enough at this moment. But definitely, we'll be building the sector analysis very shortly. Okay. So Himanshu, the question from Afaq is, how does the thickness of the line mean? I mean, we
So
have not developed it, but just asking you, does the thickness of the line matter?
a thickness of the line, they are still doing a research based on two things. Actually, there is a lot of stuff if you go deep in it. First is the angle of the line. What do you mean by okay, media has a lesser angle compared to IT? Second thing is the quadrant, where is it measured? Now what they are trying to do is that okay, this is like a compass, and right, we have numbering on the airport runways. Same way we'll have numbering, and we'll see how the benchmark performed when we have this numbering. Third is the distance from the center. Fourth is the thickness of the line. So thickness and distance, they are still researching more and more into the volatility. So they are comparing it with the volatility of the index over there. So otherwise, I don't read much into it. But yeah, it is now being studied as compared to the volatility of that benchmark, the thickness.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't read much
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rajiv, okay, Himanshu, you must not be knowing RMI. RMI is our proprietary indicator in Strike. So I'll just answer this. Shall we use RMI daily screener for entry and exit? Absolutely. So what you can do is RRG for screening, RMI for entry and exit as an indicator. You can use it. It will be a wonderful combination.
Mhm.
Uh, okay. All the scanners, whatever the additional requirement everyone is asking, definitely it will take some time, but we'll be developing it. Okay, I'm just scanning through the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, Himanshu, the question from Mahendra Pratap is, uh, you know, what is the difference between 3 year period and 5 year period? According to me, it doesn't matter much because it will be in the same quadrant, whether it is in 3 years or 5 years. Time frame matters, right? Whether it is daily, weekly, or monthly.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
So what is that? I think so. Maybe you are showing this 5 year duration, this period.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
and if
Because
you do it
we
like,
didn't give that
hmm,
option because people will get confused. Eventually, it will be in the same quadrant. It doesn't matter whether it is 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. What matters is the time frame: daily, weekly, monthly. Correct?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
correct. So I think you are giving this. I think they mean by 5 year is that this the window is for 5 years. That's what I think so.
Yeah.
But it hardly matters, right? True.
Hmm. Hmm. So, okay, Alaka is asking, can RRG be used for intraday?
So again, you can use it. I don't suggest it. You can, maybe you'll have like 60 minutes, but in intraday demands faster execution. So by the time you will analyze your RRG, the
Yeah.
stock will already be moving a lot, because here we have intraday trading. I mean, RRG is for a broader picture, and yeah, you can use it because anyway you will be picking. See, again and again, I'm saying you have to pick the stronger sectors. So on a shorter time frame, which sector is strong, you have to then use daily chart at least. So if you go to the daily chart, you will see, okay, auto is showing some momentum, energy is showing some momentum, PSE, public sector enterprises, showing some momentum, and then you can pick some stronger charts over there. But intraday, I mean, I personally don't do it.
Okay. So, Himanshu, there's a one interesting question. Okay. How long does the cycle last on each time frame? Say like daily, weekly, monthly. I mean, how many weeks the same stock will remain in the same quadrant? Is there a thing like that?
Uh, if I like, I showed you, for example,
Okay,
when
the
the,
life
for
cycle they're
example,
asking in a daily. Is it like 3 months, 6 months, or how's it? Yeah.
so what happens in daily chart, your correction will push you out multiple times. So this cycle won't last longer, because what happens, even if the stock will sleep for 1 or 2 weeks in the middle, the momentum starts declining on the daily chart. But on the
Hmm.
weekly chart, because you are taking those weekly calculation, it won't matter much on weekly chart. So imagine you were watching an ocean surface from a very from an airplane. So earlier you were watching tides, you zoomed in, now you are seeing waves, and now you further zoomed in, you are checking the ripples on the surface. So those daily chart fluctuations are like ripples. Here I showed you from 2nd Jan 23, or even if you will say when it picked momentum in May 23, the whole sector lasted for roughly around 1.5 year, one year and 1 month, right? So if you go to the daily chart of those stocks there, they will fluctuate a lot, because in the daily chart, if a stock sleeps for 3 weeks, you will see the momentum declining, and sometimes they may go to lagging as well, because the momentum is not there and relative strength has decreased. But that doesn't mean the sector overall moved to the downtrend. It's just a running correction.
Okay. So people are asking about RMI. Now that I spoke about RMI, people are eager to know about RMI. Okay, Himanshu, if you can go to help section, please, at the top right hand side. I'll just, yeah, many people, yeah. So the best features of strike, go to the best features of strike, please. The second
Uh,
one. Yeah, absolutely. So there is this videos, just go through all the 6 videos. It is the best features of strike. In this we have explained RMI. In the third one, identify the best stocks for buy and sell opportunities using RMI. So you can go through it and you can understand. But yeah, definitely we had many webinars on RMI, but going forward also we'll be doing it. So okay, how to avoid noise on the RRG based on value of ratio and momentum?
How to avoid noise is by using the weekly chart. I told you that weekly chart is itself the noise reduction phenomena, because weekly chart you won't have much noise. They will move very slow and you will catch a broader trend in a sector. So you can stick to those stocks for a prolonged period of time. If your sector is moving from, let's say, like real estate, I showed you, or for example infrastructure as a sector also, you can verify yourself. So noise reduction comes from the choice of the time frame. So if your time frame is weekly, noise will automatically be reduced. Monthly is too slow, so weekly is fair enough.
Okay. So SR is asking, so how often should I visit RRG as an investor? It should be weekly only, right? Yes, it should be weekly.
Yeah,
Himanshu is suggesting weekly time frame, uh, for everyone. So that is the ideal one. Um,
yeah, I mean, you are asking from me this.
no. I just
Okay.
answered. Yeah, you have answered this many times. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can go through the charts for my watch list just like TV, my up and down arrow keys? Definitely, Chintan, we are doing it. We are shortage of developers. That is where the development has been slow, but definitely we'll do it. Uh, okay. Tejas is asking, can a stock move diagonally?
No, it cannot move diagonally,
Yes.
because once your stock is in leading quadrant, it can't, RS ratio can't decline immediately. First, momentum has to decline,
Hmm.
right? So when momentum declines, it pulls from leading to weakening, and then further declining momentum kills the RS ratio as well. It can't move diagonally because of a simple logic that you can't stop your car from 80 to 0 suddenly within a microsecond. First, that momentum will decline.
Hmm.
You will slow down slowly. So momentum declines and then RS ratio further declines if the momentum keeps on declining.
Okay. How we can use RRG for positional option buying?
Option, I don't do that, but you can. How you can use, the purpose of RRG again is to give you the stronger sectors. Within those stronger sectors, you have to pick the stronger stocks. But when you come to the option buying, you are now fixing one more element to it, that is time of expiry. So let's say the time of expiry is last Thursday of this month. Now you want your stock to move within that time frame, that no system can answer you, because you are just playing a game of probability. You have paid a premium for a call price. Now you want your stock to move before, let's say, this and this time period. That no one can forecast, actually, to be honest, that whether the price will be able to move from 100 to 120 within 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. That no system can forecast.
Okay. So Deepika is asking, can we import watch list in Strike? Definitely on the dashboard, the option is there. When you go to watch list, there's an import button. You can import through, yes. The
Yeah.
video also is mentioned. You can import through CSV. Uh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone is asking for tips. Can you tell me which sector is going to perform next week? Would you like to answer this?
So as RRG showed, was like pharma is strong, oil and gas
Okay.
is so far strong, but
Yes.
and
What
this
about IT, Himanshu? Because it's
IT,
yeah.
I'll wait for a bit more for the
Hmm.
proper confirmation.
Hmm.
So that's what I'll do in IT. But yeah, so, I mean, again, I'm saying that leaders move beforehand, but as of now the market is very very choppy. So
Hmm.
IT, see here, Newgen was a very good chart, but what happened to Newgen was like not able to move up. So
Yeah,
market is
this
very very
is
choppy.
yeah, this is not a recommendation,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Please note, it's only for educational purpose, not a recommendation.
So as per RRG, so you'll see even the stronger charts are like facing the heat. So as of now, it's time. I mean, as what I'm personally doing is that I'm not trading much. Hmm. So otherwise, pharma looks strong.
Hmm.
Oil and gas
Oh.
looks okay. Pharma looks okay. Power sector looks good. So
Hmm.
these are the sectors that I'm looking for.
Okay. Last couple of questions, Himanshuji, with before
Yes.
we wind up. Um, okay. Any time limit a sector should be in a particular quadrant?
No, there is no time limit. Actually, we follow the price. So the sector will
Absolutely.
tell us whether to stay with it or not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good one.
Hmm.
Okay. So, any other questions, guys? Other than the subscription charges or whatever it is, any other good questions on RRG? Come on. Okay. Again,
Yeah.
someone is
So
asking.
subscription charges. Yeah. So,
Uh, yeah.
okay.
Okay. I see some tails are short and some are very, very big in RRG. What does this signify?
Is it so? I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, when you put for a particular time range, no, it shows the strength of the stock. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
He says, okay, okay, okay.
Yes, yeah,
So, yeah, this is a good question that some tails are slow. I mean,
yes,
short, short.
yes,
So it means that 5 weeks FMCG haven't moved a lot compared to IT. So this is a very good question. Now, here IT has improved a lot, and that means the momentum is very strongly increasing in IT compared to FMCG, because FMCG within that 5 weeks hasn't moved much. It was
yes,
roughly about at the same level. So RS has also increased just a bit. Momentum is almost flat. But if you compare it with IT is a very, very strong momentum sector, because momentum also moved from this level to this level, right? So
mm,
momentum, you can see here from 99 to 103. So that means the momentum increased faster over there. That's why the tail length is longer in IT compared to FMCG.
okay. Um, would a stock moving from improving to leading quadrant be a decent entry point?
Yes, from improving to weakening.
No, improving to leading.
Yeah, it's a
No.
decent entry point. For a conservative investor, it's a good point.
Yes, for a
But
conservative investor.
for
Yeah.
conservative investor, because they want extra confirmation. But if someone
Mm.
is like, I want an aggressive entry, then from whenever it moves from lagging to improving quadrant, they will start looking at that sector.
Okay. So, Himanshu, my question is okay. Mr. Rakesh is asking whether it is, according to your knowledge, RRG you've been using for many years now. Do you consider it as a leading or a lagging indicator?
See, I showed you in my presentation also, then you will be able to answer yourself.
Mm.
So, uh, if you will see here, this was the first time this came to improving. Where is the sector chart? This is the sectoral chart of real estate.
Mm.
Now I moved forward.
Mm.
This is moving to improving. Now,
Mm.
at the same time, here is the IT as of now. I don't know whether IT will do this or not. That I don't know. But real estate, look at second May. Where is the sector?
Mm.
And now in the improving quadrant, now it hasn't even broken out. RRG is showing me the complete picture. So it can't be like it's leading or it's lagging. Everything is derived from price. So everything is lagging in nature for sure. Everything is lagging because first the price is calculated. and then from that price every other thing is calculated. You have to opt which one is less leading, which one is less lagging, right? So this one is definitely one of the least lagging methodology, because here it shows me the complete picture of the price. So if the price is forming a bottom and then moving up, and this sector shows me that the complete picture of it moving from this quadrant to that quadrant, I can be sure that at least this one is the least lagging of all of them, because it shows me the rate of change, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Deepika is asking, is the line slope of any sector of any is of any importance? The
Yes,
line slope.
that's what
Yeah.
I explained, that if the slope is high, that
Hmm.
means the momentum has also gone up within 5 weeks. The momentum for IT sector has increased greater than compared to FMCG, because the slope of the line is still this much. I mean, if you see the start point and the end point, if you connect this line, this is like this. And if you look at IT, this slope is higher, which means that the momentum for IT increased higher than compared to FMCG. So that's the use of that that slope of the line. That slope tells me how fast the momentum has increased or decreased.
Okay. And Uzi is asking, since leading stocks move first, so is it advisable to buy such strong stocks, even if it is corresponding sector? Is it in it is in lagging or red quadrant?
I mean, this is a very good question. So there are two scenarios here. First scenario is, let's imagine we went to a COVID crash kind of situation. God forbid in future we correct up to 35-40%, like we corrected during COVID time. What will you see? You will see all those sectors very close to the lagging quadrant.
Hmm.
Now here, very few stocks in the market will be strong. And if you pick those stocks when the market is coming from a very deep correction, like for example, on 23rd April 2020, Loris Lab made a new high. But if you look at the pharma sector during that time, it is still near the lagging quadrant. That times you are sure that these are the leaders, because all the sectors are dead and only few alkylamines, Dixon Technologies and Loris Lab, Deepak Nitrite kind of stocks are popping up. That time you are 99% confident that okay, I can go with these names. But if the overall market is already very healthy, we are not in a correction, we are already in a bull run, then why do I need to go with those names where the sectoral strength is very poor? I
Hmm.
will be restricting my buying to only those stocks that are from the strong sectors. Because here, earlier what happened during the COVID crash, there was fire in the entire village. So it was very easy to spot those one or two houses that were not burnt. Now everyone is enjoying. There is a bull run going on. Why do I want to go into a sector when the sector is lagging and only one or two names from that sector are popping up? I can make money, easy money in those sectors that are strong. Yeah. So your question has two answers. It depends on the state of the market. If we are already in a bull run, I don't want to go to a weaker sector. See, this is one example, not a recommendation. Podumji paper, I discussed with my students also 2 months before, that this is the only paper sector stock I am seeing that is doing well. A full sector is almost, if you look at any paper industry over there, Andhra paper or other paper stocks, they are doing nothing, but this one moved more than double. And still, I mean, it's a very very strong chart. But on, if you just look at other stocks of the sector, they're not strong. So it depends on the which state of the market you are in to answer this question, right, sir?
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, Himanshu. With this, let's end uh, today's webinar. Thank you so much. We had 1,250 people who is like attending right now. To all the of them, thank you so much. Sign up to Strike and start using it. Uh, yes. Any ending statements, Himanshu, as a investor, as a trader? What do you want to advise people?
So it's basically stock, only four decisions that you will take: stock selection, entry, exit, and position sizing. So only these things are under your control. Rest nothing is under your control. So if you are improving these metrics, you'll eventually your trading or investing will improve. So for that stock selection part, uh, RRG, that's where it fits the bill. So RRG and those stronger stock scanning from relative strength, they will be at least bring you closer to the stronger sectors and the stronger stocks over there. So once that part is fixed, then it is a matter of right entry, right exit, and position sizing. So at least for that part, uh, you have to go for RRG over there, right? So
Oh,
yeah, Chavanji, I'll be sharing my link also to them. I mean, on
yes,
Twitter.
sure. Yeah,
Hmm.
you can
No
share
issue.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No issue, no issue.
Yes, and
So
at what interval RRG is updating? Every 5 minutes, it keeps updating. Real time basis, 5 minutes lagging. 5 minutes lag is there. Uh, yes. So
so I hope it was simple enough because
yeah,
probably
you are
okay.
fantastic, Himanshu. Let
No,
me
because
be very honest. You are really fantastic, and I'm sure all the viewers over there will vouch for it. I want everyone to comment, and yeah, a big thanks to you, Himanshu. You have clarified a lot of questions. Uh, Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wind up. The recordings will be available on the same YouTube channel. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Mind blowing. Once again, Himanshu, fantastic. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you,
Have a
Chavanji.
great
My
weekend.
pleasure.
Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.